What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Jinx Hammer Podcast. First things first, congrats, Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champs. That's cool. Whatever. A couple days ago. It's in the past. No one cares what you did in the past. Every team 0-0 heading into the 2024 NFL season. Offseason has just begun. Free agency, the draft coming up. Me and Jenks going to be here breaking it down for you guys every step of the way. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Good episode for you guys today. Again, Thursdays kind of be your news day, hot takes,
Rumors.
this and that, rumors day. Tuesdays, draft report. Make sure you go check that out. Today, we're going to be breaking down the Super Bowl coaching decisions. If me and Jenks liked it, disagreed with it. And then after, just some NFL rumors, Justin Jefferson, new extension coming up. What's that going to look like? Does he deserve it? This and that. Kirk Cousins on the move, and a bunch more other rumors. So let's get right into it.
Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer Podcast, bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
Here we go.
So getting right into our first segment. First off, first things first. As always, the last few weeks in the playoff rounds, we've been shouting out the bracket winners, bracket leaders, everything like that. But officially, we have the winner of the bracket. It's going to be PumaCat18. He was the only person in the group to pick the Chiefs. And he came out, and I think the only two that he got wrong were the Cowboys winning in the first round and then the Lions. He picked the Lions to be the NFC team in the Super Bowl. So congrats to you, PumaCat. As the only person to pick the Chiefs, that's pretty damn good. So getting into the Super Bowl now, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the 49ers in overtime 25-22 in a game that was very, very, very good up until the end. I think the first quarter was kind of boring. We can all agree upon that. It was a lot less explosive than I think we thought it was going to be. But like Hammer and I said last week, we kind of said it might have been a defensive game. Like I was saying, especially that both teams needed to run the ball. The passing game wasn't going to be huge for them. There weren't going to be explosive plays. They had the one play with Patrick Mahomes throwing it deep, and then they got fumbled away the next play by Pacheco. So that was the only really big passing play they can remember. There was also that trick play from Juwan Jennings to Christian McCaffrey for the touchdown, first touchdown in the game. But other than that, it was a lot of running the ball, a few 10-yard plays, passing, not a lot of huge chunk plays on the throwing side of the ball. Big thing I want to shout out really quick is that Patrick Mahomes won the MVP of this game with 333 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But here's my thoughts on that. I don't think he should have won Super Bowl MVP. I don't think he deserved it in this game. Yeah, he came back and they ended up winning. But the reason that they're still in this game is because someone ended up with 12 points accounted for on their own. Harrison Butker deserved to be Super Bowl MVP in this game. He kicked 4 field goals, 4 for 4. One was the longest Super Bowl in NFL history, or longest Super Bowl kick in NFL history. So, yeah, Harrison Butker deserved this over Patrick Mahomes 100%.
Well, that's a crazy take.
Why? Why is it crazy, Hammer?
Kicker win MVP? I mean, yeah, he made some good kicks, scored. They had to settle for a lot of field goals, this and that. But when it mattered most and all that, who put him in that position? Who drove down the fields? Who, got the ball second in overtime and went down and scored the touchdown and win the game?
2 touchdowns were wide open. It's not like it was a hard touchdown play. Wide open both times. He didn't have to do much. Yeah, he had a few running plays. I'll give him that. I'll give Patrick Mahomes credit. Like, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. But on that night, he had a good game, but it wasn't extraordinary, and he wasn't the reason they won. It was Harrison Butker.
and look at who he was working with. I mean, Kelsey's Kelsey, but besides that, I don't know. I mean, MVS is your second. MVS is your second receiver.
Yeah, but they all made the catches they needed to. But
talent-wise, it wasn't close.
I get it, but Harrison Butker, man, 4 for 4. You can't ask for a better performance from a kicker.
Let me ask you this, though. Out of the 3 Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl teams, which one's the worst?
Probably this one. No, but also I will say this. He had the best defense this year. So that, I agree offensive-wise. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, this team is the worst around him receiver-wise. And really, it was, Travis Kelce had a good game, and Eric Gray also Noah Gray had a good game as well. But yeah, the receiving core isn't very great. Running back wise, Pacheco's pretty damn good. He had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the last time, I believe, and then before that it was Williams. But they're all right. But Pacheco's probably the
Kansas City's offensive line stinks.
No,
they're not good.
I disagree with that.
They're
I
not
think they
good.
have a decent,
They're not
decent.
good. The tackles
Yeah,
stink.
so I'm looking back at it. The last non-quarterback MVP in the Super Bowl was Cooper Kupp, receiver. Before that, it was Julian Edelman, and then Von Miller in Super Bowl 50. So that was what, like 8 years ago now, 9 years. So the quarterbacks have been winning it pretty consistently, but this year I don't think Patrick Mahomes was the right guy to be chosen for that. And I know that's going to cause some disruption, some disagreement in the fans and Kansas City fans, everything like that. But Harrison Butker, if he doesn't make that field goal, any of them, they lose the game. So I think it's a different game without him in that situation. And if they had a guy like Moody, who goes out there and you never know what you're going to get, but Harrison Butker you can rely on. So they're choosing those field goals. And also that PAT was huge. The blocked PAT won them the game for the Chiefs as well. I think if that didn't happen, the Chiefs might not have been able to score a touchdown down in that late game. So a great play on the 49ers side. The next thing I want to talk about really is Brock Purdy. I know there's a lot of disagreements and there's a lot of discussion that Brock Purdy is still a game manager. He's not a top 10 quarterback, not a top 15 quarterback, top 5 quarterback, NFC, all that kind of stuff. I'm here to say he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFC right now, most likely, maybe top 8, whatever you want to say, but he's definitely in that top caliber of quarterbacks in the NFC, and it's hard to disagree with. Hammer, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought Brock Purdy looked really good. Kansas City's got really good defense, really good secondary. I thought he looked good. I didn't think the play calling helped him a lot. I thought in the third, fourth quarter, second half of the game, a lot of 3-and-outs were happening, but they weren't handing that ball to Christian McCaffrey. They
Yeah.
weren't taking some, they weren't helping Brock Purdy out, setting up that play action, which is what San Fran's so good at. And, when you pass first down and it's a holding penalty or it's an incomplete, a sack, whatever, now you're in second and long and you can't really run the ball again. You got to pass it again. So, I don't think Shanahan put him in a great spot in the second half. I think going into the second half, Brock Purdy was the best player in the game. So maybe Shanahan was like, hey, let's rely on him. But I think against a team like Kansas City too, you got to play to their strengths and weaknesses too. And that strength of that defense is the pass defense, not the run defense. Teams can run the football on Kansas City. And, they got away from that. Chris McCaffrey is the offensive player of the year. And I know he had, I think, 160 yards total or 150 yards total, but he needs more. He needs more touches, more volume. And I thought they got away from that. And going into the game, we said that was kind of the key of the game. And I just thought in the second half that they got away from that.
Yeah, no. I mean, we both said they need to run the ball if they want a shot to beat the Chiefs. That their passing defense, McDuffie and Snead, have been locking it down all year. And yeah, I mean, McCaffrey had 22 carries for 80 yards, but he, like you said, he could have had more. I mean, that third quarter,
I get 22 carries. Yeah, I get 22 carries is a lot, and he probably caught 5-6 balls. But this is the Super Bowl. There's no game after this. You got to go all out. I don't care if he gets 30 carries with 8 receptions. He's your best player in offense. You got to feed him the ball, and they just didn't do that in the second half. And they were going 3-and-out nonstop.
Yeah. He ended up actually having 8 receptions, 80 yards, but like you said, he needed more running. They showed it in the fourth quarter. Once they started running the ball with him, he was getting 4 yards of play easily. He was down, just getting into the gap, jump cutting, everything like that, and he was getting a good 4 or 5 yards every play. So Kyle Shanahan, no one knows what he was doing in that situation. Why were you not running the ball? Why aren't you playing to your strengths? And then also something I want to just shout out is George Kittle for 2 receptions, 4 yards. In a game like this, I don't think that's something that should have happened. I mean, tight ends against the Chiefs haven't been bad this year, but they haven't been great. But they've also, the guys that are good tight ends have been playing well against them. If you look at it, a few of the games, I know the one big game that they had, I believe it was, let me see. There were a few tight ends that had big games against the Chiefs. There were.
Yeah. And I just think you look around, let's just look at San Fran's offense all around, right? I mean, yeah, McCaffrey had the best day. I think he needs more. But on top of that too, okay, McCaffrey's not getting a lot of, McCaffrey's numbers don't blow you away. I mean, they're good, but they don't blow you away. Ayuk, 3 catches for 49. Debo, 3 catches for 33. And Debo also had 3 rushes for 8 yards. And then you just said Kittle 2 for 4.
You're
No
shutting
one
down
did
the playmakers.
no one did anything. And it's like if you have so many playmakers, like you can't get one going. And I guess CMC is the one that did get going, but like even him, I don't know.
It didn't seem like they were
It
playing
was
to their
just
strengths
weird.
all
It
game.
was weird.
And Jawan Jennings was the best receiver for them in the game. Like he was
Yeah.
when he was called upon, he was making great catches and making good plays. So it was an interesting thing for those 49ers. And Brandon Aiyuk has come out after the game. Basically, his brother, I believe, is his brother, his girlfriend. They both started posting like cryptic things like, "Oh, that's why we're not going to be back in San Francisco next year." All this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So it's like you didn't use them, and now he's frustrated. I mean, he still had 3 catches, 49 yards, the most receiving yards on the team outside of Christian McCaffrey. So I don't really get yeah, you're upset you didn't get more catches, but no one really did on your team. So it's an interesting situation, but maybe they could seek out a trade partner if someone's willing to give a draft pick for him.
Yes.
It's just
So
interesting situation.
the interesting part about Ayuk is this is his 4th year. He was a first round pick though, so they still have that 5th year option.
Mhm.
So he's still gonna be under contract if they decide to tag him. But if he still wants to move on after that, you could still trade him under the tag. So that's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Um, if I had to predict, I don't think I use Ayuk's back.
I feel like, yeah, it's kind of leaning that way. I mean,
I
you
don't
get
know if
younger. Maybe they draft a receiver.
yeah.
Say, hey, there's a lot of good receivers in this draft, in my opinion, and I think they could probably just say, hey,
I think
Brandon, if you're unhappy, move on.
I think you trade him, get like a second, right? Second or third, probably second.
For him, yeah, because he's talented and he's young as well. Let me see what year contract he's on at the moment. He is in his he's a this is his final year in 2024 upcoming, and then after that he's an unrestricted free agent. So they would be trading away for a year to someone, and then he's a free agent after that. So I could definitely see them doing that so that they don't have to pay
We'll see what
this.
happens. I don't know where San Fran's getting all this money from. Like I saw something. I think Debo's. I think he's up to 28 mil next year. That's his cap hit.
It's
28
gonna
for
be up there.
Debo. I'm just saying, a Purdy extension is going to be coming.
Let me
It's
see.
going to be interesting. I don't know. See what they do with Chase Young. I don't think they bring him back.
It's
I
not
don't
worth it.
know.
He had a
We'll
sack at
see.
least this game.
He played
He
better
had a
towards the
sack.
yeah.
I
He
mean,
did.
he at least did something. He realized he was gonna get cut, and then he was like, or he realized he was gonna get benched, and he was like, "Oh shit, gotta get my stuff
Yeah.
back in gear." Yeah, 49ers 2024. Their team cap space right now for 2024, they're 3 mil over. I don't know how they're only 3 mil over, but that's what it is. So yeah, Debo Samuel's gonna be at 27 mil. Trent Williams at 29. Arik Armstead 25. Fred Warner
Bosa.
25 as well. Kittle at 18 mil for a tight end. That's a lot for a tight end
What's
in the
Bosa?
modern. Bosa's gonna be uh dead money. I was reading dead money. Cap number, sorry. Cap number. Trent Williams 31, Debo 28. George Kittle's at 21, and then Nick Bosa's at 14. Same
Wow,
with Christian McCaffrey. So
that's a
yeah,
lot.
Debo's up there. 28 mil is insane for a receiver. I mean, even Trent Williams, 31 mil is insane for a left tackle. I mean, props to him. He is one of the best left tackles in the league, and he's one of the most valuable players on the team. But that is a lot of money. And I mean, for the 49ers, they do have the offense they want. Like, they're not paying Brock Purdy a lot. He's way down there in the cap space. I think he's under a mil even. And for a guy like Brock Purdy, where he is, people are calling him a game manager, but he is able to make game-changing plays on his feet, and he's able to scramble, make plays happen, improvise. So I guess they're in the kind of spot they want to be, but I'm interested to see if they do cut a couple players, restructure contracts in order to make that cap fit a little bit different, and so they can pick up a couple more players as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And then last thing about the Super Bowl, overtime. This is the first time we saw the new rules
Mhm.
play out. What are your thoughts on it? Would you want to receive the ball or would you want to kick?
There was like the big discussion about this, and here's my thoughts. I don't think it should matter if you get the ball and you go and score, you don't got to worry. Like, I mean, yeah, you got to stop them if they go for 2 or anything like that, but there was no reason. Like, people were like, "Oh, they received the ball, they're morons." Like, if they go down and score a touchdown, it's not a big worry. They didn't do their job. They didn't go and score. They just kind of they shit down their leg in the overtime, and I mean, I guess that's. I mean, they kicked I think a field goal in overtime, right?
Yeah, they kicked a
Um,
field goal. Yeah, and the
and
thing is too, right? If you guys match touchdowns or match field goals, next score wins, and that the
yeah,
first person that received the ball is going to be getting that ball back with a chance to go win it, even with just a field goal. So
and the yeah,
I think it's the right choice to receive the ball, but you just got to go make it count. You got to go make it happen. If you go back and watch that play on third down when they before they settled for the field goal, like no one blocked Chris Jones. Like
yeah,
guys weren't
he's just right up.
blocked, and Purdy just had to throw it in the dirt, and yeah, it
And
wasn't good.
I guess I understand that. Yeah, you're giving the second team to get it 4 downs because they have to score or they're screwed. But I mean, technically, if you're at like if you can go 4 down, like you can do whatever you want in overtime. It's not really. It's just I don't think they operated it well. I guess the second team does have a better chance if you don't score, but if you score, like you don't have to worry about it. So you got to do your job, and then it's less of a worry. I guess there's less pressure on the team that's kicking off.
Yeah, and on top of that too, San Fran's defense was just out there because Kansas City had
Yeah.
had that last drive. So I guess San Fran's defense is tired. Let's go offense first. So I don't think it was bad. It just comes down to executing. You got to execute.
Yeah, and all these players coming out, "Oh, yeah, we didn't know the strategy." I mean, I understand,
That's
but
BS.
I don't get why you would come out and say that against your coach, against your team, anything like there's no reason for it. It doesn't matter if you don't know the strategy. You still gotta go score. Like, even if
Yeah, but some players were saying they didn't know the rules, and to me,
yeah,
that's unacceptable. Like Mahomes came out and said, like, yeah,
they've been
like
practicing it
this
forever.
past month during the playoffs, like we have meetings weekly about overtime rules, scenarios, this and that. Like
There's
the whole
no
team is
way.
aware. There's like you telling me no one on Sanford, none of the players they weren't aware of overtime. Like to
Yeah,
me,
and
that's not coaching. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
got to
it's
put you guys in position to know.
I just feel like that
That,
there's no way that they didn't have some sort of discussion about it. And even if you didn't know in that situation, you still have to go score. If it's the same rules, you still
yeah,
think I'm going to go score a touchdown on this drive to win the game. And they
yeah,
didn't do that. So these guys coming out like, "Oh yeah, we didn't know." What the hell does it matter? You still want to go down and score. You didn't do your job. So get
yeah.
over it.
But I
I
think
think
another piece of that too is I thought they were confused with the last play of overtime, that touchdown, because the clock was ticking. It was going
yeah.
to be the end of overtime, and they didn't know if overtime ended or it went another quarter. In that
Yeah.
case, it would go another quarter because it's for the both teams have one drive.
Yeah, they get their
So
possession no matter what. I was confused as well for that. I'm going to be
I,
honest. I
I
really
was
was.
too, and it looked like the Niners were confused too. But I mean, I'm just saying, if I was a player, like you gotta know that, like
Yeah. Yeah,
you
I mean,
gotta know
the
that
coaches should have
going
been
into the playoffs.
all and especially once you're on kickoff or once they receive the ball, those defensive coaches should be going to their defensive guys, huddle up. Hey guys, we got to stop them. But they also get a full drive no matter what the time is, all of that kind of stuff. They should be communicating that on the sideline. So for an NFL team to not do that is a little bit shocking to me. And another reason why, like, it seems like the lights got a little bit too big for Shanahan in this moment. And we had a few people comment on our reel the other day on Instagram, hey, Andy Reid and Shanahan are not close. But we were arguing, yeah, Shanahan is close because he is one of the best offensive minds in the league. But until this get like in these games, he didn't use his players. He didn't use the key players they needed to. And the game plan wasn't what we felt needed to be done for them to win. And in this situation, the overtime situation, all these players coming out saying, oh, we didn't know the rules, everything like that. It's a bad look for Shanahan. And who knows? I don't know if it's right, wrong, if they're lying, whatever. But it's
Yeah,
a bad look.
and me and you took Andy Reid because more experience. That's more,
Yeah.
and it showed during this game, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, that's it for the Super Bowl. Me and Jenks, we predicted it pretty good. We both took Kansas City. We both said defensive game, mid-20s, low-20s. So we have some clue what we're talking about. And
I said 3 points. I said 3 points.
you said 3. I said 4, maybe 5. But yeah, it's gonna do it for this topic. Congrats again to the Chiefs. All funny games till that team's winning at New Orleans next year. And yeah, let's get right to the rumors. All right, getting right into the rumors of this week. I think the big one that we got to talk about is Justin Jefferson. He's due for a contract extension. It's going to be really interesting
Mhm.
to see how it plays out. From what we hear, he wants to be the highest paid receiver. But he wants to know what the quarterback plan is. He wants to know if they're getting a veteran, if they're getting a young guy, and he's got to see if he likes it. And then, of course, I think he wants more passing in the offense. There's a lot of wants for Justin Jefferson. So, Jenks, do you think a player like him deserves it?
I do. And here's the thing. I think he does until a point, though. I mean, until if it starts becoming diva-ish, I deserve more than anyone on this team, then that's where it's no, you don't. I'm sorry, you're still a player, a team. You are one of 53 on the roster. And until you become a guy that respects the whole team and nothing but the team and winning games, then no, I think it's it would become a diva move. But I love Justin Jefferson. I have all respect for him. And as long as he's just saying, hey, I want to know what's going on, I want to be informed, and then go from there, I think that's respectable. And I think he has every right to.
Yeah, he wants to know that there's a good QB put in place for him to continue to play for these. I'm guessing a contract would be 4 years, something like that, to know he's in a good position. And I think for the Vikings, I think they're gonna go young. I think they're gonna draft someone in the first round. Maybe they move up. I think they talk to Jefferson, see who he kind of likes, but I don't think they're gonna factor that in as much. But I think they're gonna go young because they want someone to grow with Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins is getting towards the end of his career when Justin Jefferson, it looks like he's just hitting his prime. He's getting better and better every year. So I think they go young. Who that is, I don't know yet. Me and Jake's going to break down this QBs, do some mock drafts.
Such an interesting class for quarterbacks.
Yeah. But I think they go young QB. I know they're sitting in the top 15, right? Just about top 15. I think it could move up a little bit. But also I think the way this draft looks right now in February, I also think that QBs could, go in that range and a couple guys could fall. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to see how those first 3 picks play out with the Bears, Commanders, and Patriots. But I think Justin Jefferson, deserves to be the highest paid receiver, with his age too, especially. And I think quarterback, I think they're going to go young.
Yeah. Just stats wise, I mean, he played less than, I don't know, maybe 10 games this year, and he had 1,000 yards, 68 receptions, 5 touchdowns. He's he's easily the best receiver in the league. And if you get a good quarterback
without Cousins too, most of that. So
if you get a quarterback that can play to his strengths, then this is a guy that can break games wide open for you any play. I mean, I remember it was 4th down against the Lions, 4th and 20, something like that. Everyone knew they were throwing it to Justin Jefferson. He still goes out and makes the play. A game against the Bills last year, he was triple teamed, and they just chuck it up to him. And he comes up with a one-hand catch, insanity. But I mean, a guy like him, you want a young quarterback. And for me, I think there are 3 quarterbacks go first 3 picks. I do. I think it's going to be Caleb Williams, not JJ McCarthy, Drake May. Sorry. Drake May, and then Jaden Daniels, I think, goes to the Patriots. I think that's going to be the top 3 picks. But then you got Michael Penix and then JJ McCarthy are the next 2 off the board, I think. I don't know where they go, but those are going to be the 2 that they eye, as the Vikings do, I think, unless they decide to trade up to that number 1, 2, 3 spot, which I just don't think makes sense for them. But those are going to be the 2 guys available. But I think Penix or McCarthy both are going to be a good fit for them because they both are great role quarterbacks. And I think JJ McCarthy put him in the right situation. He could be a guy like Kirk Cousins that does the right things in the right moments and also is able to make the plays and throw the ball to a guy like Justin Jefferson. And
I think Penix is better. I think
I do as well. I love Penix.
I think he'll be better with the Vikings than just Jefferson, though, to just rip it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he has a great deep ball, very, very pretty deep ball, and he puts the ball in spot where no one else can catch it other than the receiver. So Michael Penix would be a great fit there. Next, where does Kirk Cousins go? And I think this is a great situation for Kirk Cousins. He's going to have a few teams that want a plug and play quarterback this offseason. And I think it comes down to maybe the Falcons being that team where if they miss out on a quarterback in the draft, they want to come pick someone up. Or do they want to pick him up before the draft if they don't pick up Fields, anything like that? There's a lot of speculation what the Falcons are going to do. Another team would be maybe the Steelers, but I don't see that happening. The Titans.
My prediction?
Yeah, what's your prediction?
This is my prediction. I think it's going to happen too. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be a member of the Raiders. I truly do.
Great. That's a good pick too.
I don't think they go young. I think
Aiden O'Connell is not future.
I think the Raiders we have a talented team. We got Devontae Adams. He's tired of playing with a young quarterback. Let's get him a good quarterback. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He's a top 15 quarterback in this league. He is. I think they get Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is looking for a deal that's like 2 years, 90 mils, so 45 mil a year.
Prove it.
I think they do this. I think it makes too much sense for me. I think you go get Devontae Adams, that vet proven quarterback, and that's Kirk Cousins. I think he's going to land with the Raiders.
I don't mind that. And I think if he doesn't get a good quarterback this offseason, I think Devontae is gone because the Jets are recruiting him hard. Aaron Rodgers is going to be recruiting him hard. So
he's not going to get traded. I don't think so. But I'm saying
I don't think
that
they
is
would.
why
If he demands one, they're going to have to.
But to keep him happy, like
that's what I'm saying.
I think they get Cousins, and Cousins is the only quarterback out there that would do that. Like Cousins is just. I think it's the perfect fit.
I don't think he's willing to run it back. I don't think he's willing to run it back with Aiden O'Connell for a full season. I mean, Aiden O'Connell wasn't terrible. Like he wasn't the worst quarterback in the league when he was in.
No,
he
but
just
there's
wasn't
no
great.
future. There's no future.
He's not the future of them for sure.
But I'm calling it right now. February 14th. That's when we're recording this video. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Kirk Cousins will be Kirk Cousins will be a member of the Raiders. I promise you. I truly think so. He's going to be a member of the Raiders, and yeah. Get him out of the division.
I don't mind it.
We'll take another Vikings. Take another young guy so we can beat up on him. And what's the next one? Justin Fields, another quarterback in our division. What's happening with Justin Fields? Is he going to get traded? Is he staying? It sounds like he's going to get traded. Where is he going to get traded to? I think Atlanta. Steelers, Atlanta, Patriots. Those would be my top 3 teams. I go Patriots too because I'm like, you know what, Patriots. Maybe you go spend, a third or a second or whatever it's going to cost you to get Fields, right? And then you go Marvin Harrison Jr., you know what I mean? And then you go him at pick 3. I think that's interesting. So this is my top 3 teams that Fields lands. I don't think he's back in Chicago. I don't think the Bears are going to move from that number 1 pick. I think it's Caleb Williams, and I think he gets moved, and those 3 teams make a lot of sense.
I think it'll be closer to the draft than anything. I think on draft night, say the Falcons are in the draft, right? They're sitting there at whatever. I think it's 8, 9, 10, something in that range. If they're in there, the top 3 guys get picked. Jaden Daniels is gone. I think Jaden Daniels is their number one prospect in the draft. Because if you put a guy like Jaden Daniels in with Bijan, Drake May, and then Kyle Pitts as well, that's a huge, not Drake May, Drake London. Sorry. That's instantly a great young core for the Falcons. I would hate it as a Saints fan. But I think if you don't get Jaden Daniels,
but even Justin Fields, he's going to run all over you.
Exactly. Justin Fields, a guy that can run around and then throw the ball. That's what they want on a team like that. Like Desmond Ridder, like you saw, like their goal was to kind of get him running a little bit, but he's terrible at throwing the ball, so it doesn't really work out. I think Justin Fields could end up doing that, but if Jaden Daniels is gone, I see them having no problem with trading a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, keeping that 1st-rounder, picking a guy, and then having Justin Fields to plug in.
Fields is not a 1st-round pick. He's not.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying, though. Is that
in my opinion, I don't even think he's a day 2. But quarterbacks are so valuable, and if you believe he could do something, then go for
Daniels?
It. I don't think Justin Fields is.
Justin Fields. No. I think he's worth like a 2nd or 3rd.
But I'm saying he's probably going to go for a 2nd. So, yeah, if I'm the Falcons, that's a good move. I think the Patriots are a team, too, to watch out for. If they don't fall in love with any quarterbacks, maybe they take the best player on the board, which is Marvin Harrison. And another team, I'm going to go Steelers. Mike Tomlin came out. He said good things he has said good things about Justin Fields in the past. I think the Steelers are definitely going to add a quarterback this offseason. Maybe not him. Maybe they get Sam Darnold. I think they get kind of like a vet young quarterback because they need competition over there. I don't think Kenny Pickett's the guy. Mason Rudolph, he's not the guy. I know he has his moments with Steeler fans kind of like him, but he's not the guy. I think Fields makes sense there. And another guy I would watch out for is Sam Darnold, who's going to be a free agent, I believe. So
yeah, no, I think.
Yeah. Another name for the Steelers I saw was Ryan Tannehill. I don't really know if that's the best just because he's on the older side. Yeah. I like Fields better, but it's another rumor that I saw. So
yeah, I mean, I think for the Patriots especially, that's a team where they have a great defense already. Like we know that. They have a new head coach who's young, and he's going to want a young player to kind of just come in under the helm for a quarterback. But I think, yeah, like you said, Justin Fields is a great pick there because then at 3, they go Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep.
instantly, boom. That offense is 10 times better than it was last year. Whereas if you pick a quarterback, but you don't really have the key pieces around him, then he still could kind of struggle. So if you're able to get a quarterback in there and a top tier wide receiver immediately, then that's something huge for them. So I could see them definitely doing that route versus drafting a quarterback.
Definitely.
And then finally, I think the last guy we want to talk about was Danielle Hunter. Possibly going to a few different teams. I believe it was the Bears, the Jaguars. And a guy like Danielle Hunter, I think he's 29, I want to say, which isn't old. It's not young either. It's kind of getting up there, but we've seen defensive ends play until they're like 35. So I think Cam Jordan's up there right now with like 34, something like that. So these guys, they can play for a while. He had 16 and a half sacks this past season. So we know he's still a premier rusher in the league. And you go to the Bears, I know Hammer would hate it. Hammer wouldn't like it at all. But their
I don't care.
defense,
Dude,
their
he
defense
never touches
after
Jordan Love. I don't really care.
I know. But that defense in the second half of the season after they traded for Montez Sweat was awesome. Like it definitely went 10 times higher than it already was. And if the Bears are able to say, let's trade a haul for that number 1 pick, if they wanted to keep Justin Fields and just get a bunch of players, they could do that. Or if they draft Caleb Williams, that's immediately a lot better of a team right there. The defense is getting better, and you got Caleb Williams. Or if he goes to the Jaguars, I mean, it's a solid move. But I think the Bears are a more appealing team to go to right now. They're younger. I think they have – here's my thoughts. I don't like the Jaguars. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the answer. I don't like the coaching over there. I just don't like the Jaguars
All right,
as a whole.
we'll
I'm
go
not a
over this.
Jaguars fan. The Bears have more of a if the Bears go and get Caleb Williams, they instantly have a higher future than the Jaguars immediately.
We'll go over this another episode. But all right, you don't like the Jags. Wait.
But hear me out. They're also in the AFC. They're not doing shit for at least 5+ years. They're not. Like, let's be honest. The AFC is screwed. They're screwed. And CJ Stroud and the Texans are in that division. Like, I mean,
right.
if you want to go there, do that. But I think the Bears are a better pick for them.
I don't. I think it's the Bears. I think they always think, yeah, the defense was like really good until they played us, and we went up and down the field on them again. I think Danielle Hunter. I think those are just 2 rumor teams that are going to pursue him in free agency. I think more attractive team for him, 29 year old older. I think a little easier on the body. Maybe you want to go Jacksonville. I think it makes a little bit more sense, even though I think the Bears can pay him a little bit more because they got a lot of money.
They got so much cap. Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. He's definitely one of the top free agents this year. Interesting to see where he lands. Like Jenk said just a year ago with 16 and a half sacks. So still producing at a really high level. But that's going to do it for this episode. This is kind of going to be a format, like we said, for the whole offseason. Today, a little debate in the beginning maybe, and then just going through the rumors, breaking it down for you guys, giving all our thoughts. Of course, Tuesday's draft report. We did interior offensive line Tuesday. Really fun, good episode. For you guys that don't watch a lot of college football like me and Jenks, just because we're kind of working on Saturdays, more NFL guys. It's a good episode. Go check out. See if your team's maybe drafted an interior lineman. This next Tuesday we got D-line, interior D-line, little D tackles going through top 8, top 10 of them. And it's going to be another fun episode. So, Jenks, closing thoughts, anything?
Yeah. I mean, I think Danielle Hunter comes to the Saints.
Yeah, I don't think so. You guys are like 10 mil over the cat.
No, we're 80 mil.
80 mil. Oh, 80. I said 10. I was being nice.
Yeah, no, it's going to be tough. But I think Brandon Aiyuk is definitely a interesting contender for the Saints with us getting the 49ers passing game coordinator in Clint Kubiak. So it's definitely intriguing. Juwan Jennings, discount Brandon Aiyuk. But I one thing I want to say real quick, movie-wise, I know you guys, I'm the best movie connoisseur.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Jake's movie review. Let's hear it.
Fantastic Four dropped the cast. So Hammer, you've seen the Fantastic Four movies, the original ones, right?
Yep.
So the new cast.
Chris Evans.
Yeah, in the originals. Yeah.
OG.
So Reed Richards is going to be played by what's his face? The guy from Pascal, whatever his name is. The guy from The Last of Us, a few other things.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. And then the girl, I don't remember her name. Did you see the new Mission Impossible at all? None of you've seen any of them.
Nope.
It's some white chick. I really don't know who she is, but I think it's a good fit. Then
Awesome. 0 for 2. Keep going.
no, the guy who's playing Johnny, Stranger Things. He's the guy with really curly hair.
Oh,
I don't know his name, but like I don't agree with that casting at all. I think it's kind of a weird casting for him. Don't think it's like I think he'll be all right, but I'm not a big fan. But here's my favorite pick.
why am I blanking on his name? Who's the guy from Stranger Things?
I know. It's the only thing he's been in. That's why. It's the only thing he's ever been in. Anyways, the guy who's playing the Thing is Cousin from The Bear.
Oh, that's cool. That's a fun pick.
See? That's the only cast member I'm like, I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, apparently you don't know any of the other cast members. You kind of went 0 for 3.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Let me see.
I mean, you just kind of, that girl from that and that guy's from that and no names.
No, I mean, okay, Pedro Pascal. I was blanking on. Pedro
he's good.
Pascal. Vanessa Kirby is the girl who's playing Sue Storm. Oh, and Joseph Quinn. That's the guy who's playing.
But what was his name in Stranger Things?
Yeah,
That's what's pissing me off. Like, why? Bill, it was not Billy.
Yeah,
it
Billy's
was
not him.
frustrating. Wow.
If you weren't a straight girl, it's kind of a forgettable character.
What?
Well, I wasn't a big fan of his character, but that's just me.
Hold on,
That
let
is
me
just me. Stranger Things was never like my. I enjoy it, but it's not the best show in the world. If you know what I'm saying.
I gotta look.
I'm watching Entourage,
I gotta look it up.
And for those that are badasses,
Eddie.
that was his name.
That was gonna
Watch
screw me up.
Entourage or Rescue Me. That's another good show I just binged.
I don't got time. All right. Well, Jenks, is that it for the review?
Oh, Madam Web came out today. It's at 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yikes.
Everyone's saying it's the worst comic movie of all time. So I might have to go see it and just laugh.
Give us a reaction. We need it for next week.
Yeah, I might have to go see it.
All right. Good.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Thanks, Jenks. Always appreciate it. We love it.
Yeah, I know. It's a favorite segment of the day.
It is. All right. Well, with that being said, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at JenksNerdPod. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at JenksNerdPodcast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment the kind of things that you want to see us do this offseason, talk about, and comment if you want to join the show. Talk a little movies with Jenks, talk football with me, whatever you want. So have a good week. Have a good weekend. We'll see you guys on Tuesday, breaking down the top 10, top 8. We'll kind of see what we want to do. Interior defense alignment of the 2024 NFL Draft. Have a good weekend. See you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!